The Loader is the most powerful character in Risk of Rain 2. She tops most speedrun leaderboards, has one of the strongest burst damage kits in the game, and the best mobility. All of these incredible things going for her, and you play her like this. This is the definitive Loader guide, a guide that will increase your understanding of every intricacy that makes the Loader the best survivor in Risk of Rain 2. We will be layering good habits, playstyles, and techs on top of each other until even new land loaders have a grasp on how to reach Loader's really high skill ceiling. Now this is a very important overlying topic that needs to be brought up as early as I could, so please keep this in mind throughout the entire video. As you play Loader, you should be reinitiating your sprint after every single action. Loader can sprint while swinging from her grapple, while charging her punch, and in between primary attacks, which does give her a slight boost forward. I highly recommend those on default PC binds to switch your sprint key to avoid needing to click Control to sprint while needing to hold Shift to keep charging your punch. I personally use my side mouse button for sprint, but that's up to you. Also, a big disclaimer about any console versions of the game, Loader movement all seems to be severely bugged, so unfortunately some things might not apply to you guys. Anyways, onto the most important part about Loader's mobility. At the base of all things Loader movement is her secondary ability. Both Grapple Fist and Spiked Fist allow Loader to swing around the stage, giving you unmatched mobility. Both secondaries have a 5-second cooldown, making backup mags even more valuable than speed items. The only difference between the secondaries is that Spiked Fist provides a stunning, damaging, and pulling attack when the fist lands. Enemies light enough will be pulled towards you, while heavy enemies will remain where they are, pulling you towards them just like the default grapple. For the purpose of understanding the grapple mobility, I recommend choosing the default grapple at first, since it opens up more options for grapple points off of enemies without dragging something dangerous towards you. However, as your Loader skills progress, Spiked Fist becomes the more desirable of the grapples, since we will be able to apply future topics from the video to mend having less areas to grapple onto, while also gaining the extra damage and utility from Spiked Fist. This brings us to an advanced topic involving the grapple that is part of the fundamentals of playing Loader as efficiently as possible. This being the Grapple Boost. In basic terms, whenever your grapple is attached to something, you get a boost in the direction you are looking. Combining this with the fact that you can and should be sprinting while swinging, she starts to have a lot of control over where she wants to end up. The idea is to use your grapple, and even before the grapple lands, point your camera in the direction you are wanting to travel. If you want to swing around a large tree, look left while the grapple is being sent out, and you will receive a wider swing. And if you want to stop this swing, you can look the opposite direction of your current momentum and it will slow you down with the grapple boost. You can also trim off certain slopes while swinging to alter your trajectory on demand. Just make sure that the slope isn't too steep, or else it's the most excruciating swing of your life. Also, unlike what we saw in Risk of Rain Returns, where continuous jumping preserves momentum, this game is the exact opposite. Jumping will completely stop us no matter how fast we were swinging. All you gotta do is spam jump as you're about to land, allowing us to control where we want to stop instead of sliding or bouncing somewhere else. Now this is a very common Loader skip that will further help you understand the power of the Grapple Boost. You start with a normal grapple off a ceiling. However, by pointing your camera in the direction you want your momentum to go, while slightly looking away from where the grapple point is, we can extend the length of the grapple infinitely, giving us a bigger circle to swing around and conserving a lot more of that Grapple Boost momentum to launch us to the very top of the arena. Utilizing Grapple Boost can help you accurately swing wherever you want, and will further increase your punch damage output. Now let's talk about the punch. We have the default Charge Gauntlet and the Alt Thunder Gauntlet. Both have a 5-second cooldown and are the primary damage source skill for Loader. And the first topic we need to discuss about these punches is what this heavy tag means. Both gauntlets have the ability to further scale your damage based on your speed. Speed items only boost this heavy tag by a very small amount, while strategically using your grapple boost that we just learned allows for very impactful heavy damage boost applied to the punch. Now, Thunder Gauntlet specifically is still a strong ability, however it has a few setbacks. Thunder Gauntlet is a no charge up punch which launches you forward a shorter distance than Charge Gauntlet and is quite awkward to use as a directional mobility option. Thunder Gauntlet also knocks you back and momentum locks you after hitting an enemy, providing less control over where you want to go while in combat. Another thing about Thunder Gauntlet is that the cone AoE does not scale with the heavy damage bonus modifier, while piercing through groups of enemies with Charge Gauntlet scales the heavy damage modifier on each enemy contacted with the punch. Perks of Charge Gauntlet include the ability to charge your punch mid-swing for better directional control. You can also initiate your sprint while charging your Charge Gauntlet, which helps allow you to pre-charge your punch and methodically position yourself for both the most impactful punch and safe landing after piercing through the enemies. It doesn't really matter which punch you prefer because Loader has insane damage with any version of her kit. However, Charge Gauntlet does provide better movement control, better AoE, and better in combat survivability for these reasons. Everything we've learned so far, grapple boosts, our punch's mobility options, and scaling the punch's heavy damage by increasing our swing speed. These can now be applied to both of Loader's special abilities, the Pylon and the Slam. The Slam is a stunning, close-range AoE attack that provides a good damaging hit. It can also be paired with the Charge Gauntlet to quickly increase your momentum by initiating a Slam, which will boost your heavy damage. I personally find the Slam a bit redundant since Charge Gauntlet provides a stronger, better version of what the Slam can do, and because there's just something special about the Pylon. Pylon unlocks a ton of damage and mobility, and it goes right under your nose the entire time. Pylon can be grappled. Throw your Pylon out and you'll notice it travels faster the earlier in the throw it is. If we grapple onto the Pylon during the early phases of the throw, we can maintain the Pylon's momentum through our swing and further grapple boost ourselves by aiming a bit downwards to create an upwards arcing motion. This allows us to launch ourselves across the stage and creates very quick and easy heavy damage boosts when we pair it with our punch. This gives us even more reason to constantly pre-charge your special, so we are allowed max punch damage and better mobility than a quickly half-charge punch would be. On top of the grapple swings and grapple punches, Pylon has another trick up its sleeve. We all know Loader loves getting bans. Big damage multiplier of Loader's big damage punch. Holding your punches to sync up with your ban cooldown, so you can get the most damage output with your punch, which further adds to the methodical approach of Charge Gauntlet and Loader as a whole. Well, Pylon can actually press down the pressure plates for you on a ban and aqueduct. This is something I've covered previously in my pot rolling guide as well. Stand a bit far back and bounce the Pylon off the floor. Then make your way to the other plate once you land the Pylon over the plate, and you'll get 2 free bans. Pylon unlocks the ability to go across the stage in one swing, quickly boost your punch damage, obtain 2 bans for free if you get the right stage 2, and just provides really solid AoE attacks that inherit your items and take care of the groups of smaller flying enemies, which is why I personally find it more important than Thunder Slam. Now it's time we talk about some of the obscure shit the Loader can do, and there are a couple more things the Grapple has for us. First, the Grapple has a max range for it to attach. If we use Spike Fist just outside the max range, the damage hitbox will still hit the enemy without losing your cooldown, meaning you can spam your grapple to deal damage and stunlock enemies while they're in the sweet spot range. Second for the Grapple is truly putting your grapple boost to the test by attempting a pogo. The idea is that you throw your grapple out, look in the direction you're wanting to go, wait till the grapple lands, which will give the grapple boost, and then let go of the grapple. Backup mags or cooldown reduction items allow you to do this in a very quick succession to not lose all of your momentum by landing, which is shown perfectly here in the any % world record. But this can also be applied early game to further increase your survivability while in combat, which is really important. Another obscure thing the loader can do is actually just skip bosses sometimes. This is something I've covered previously in my boss skipping video, but Loader's Charge Gauntlet preserves its damage through the entire punch, meaning if we punch while a boss like the Alloy Worship Unit or the 4th phase of Mithrix are spawning in, the game assumes the boss isn't a boss by hitting them on the first frame. Something very niche but can save you the hassle of having to deal with Eclipse 7 AWU spamming their shield every 5 seconds or Phase 4 Mithrix stealing your items in the first place. When we start to fluidly combine all of our abilities, we unlock Loader's max movement potential. The key being to pace your skill usages. Allow for your cooldowns to come back by increasing your airtime with either upward swings or using a fully charged punch upwards. The key is to be constantly dipping in and out of combat while maintaining good movement around the area without getting stuck in a bad spot with no mobility skills available. This can be achieved through combining all our abilities together and the techniques we've learned throughout this video. Recharging our punches, upwards arcing swings, constant utilization of grapple boosts, pylon boosts, pogos, heavy damage, and proper cooldown management. Once every single one of these things are simultaneously being processed in your head, that's when you truly become one with Loader's movement. These are the things that allow you to land on a pinpoint from 100 meters away, and these are what allow you to get through that tunnel without touching the ground a single time. Focus Crystal, Bands, Polylutes, and so many other items can be so advantageous on the Loader. Here are the most desirable items and equipment you could find for Loader. Think about it and learn the scenarios that prove why these items are so good for her. All of this takes practice, it takes muscle memory, and it takes a good general understanding of the game. A good way to practice your Loader movement is through the prismatic trials, allowing you to improve your time and your understanding of the Loader's movement through repetition. There are also tons of examples of very good Loader gameplay, both in the Loader Gauntlet speedrun category and during the racing events we hold over at Risk of Resources. But with that, I wish you all the best in your own journeys of improvement, and let me know what you thought of both the video and its structure. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you found it informative and helpful. And for any Risk of Rain game that comes our way, know that I'll be there to share incredible new discoveries.